make mistakes, hopefully be lifelong. Middle school, new houses, new states, new schools, and high school. We have given you everything we can at every new beginning. We have taught you to see what is good, true, and beautiful, and not only to see it, but to seek it, to live it out. We have taught you to think well, to analyze and criticize, to disagree in civil discourse, to prove what you know. We celebrate this commencement because it is different. This new beginning into which you are about to walk is unlike any other you have faced, because it is yours for the making. While life is and will always be unpredictable and untamed, your journey will only be what you make of it. I cannot predict, nor can I promise good fortune always on the next leg of that journey. But like so many things, what matters greatly is how you begin. So as you consider your adventure ahead, honor your past beginnings, honor your parents and teachers, remember what you have tasted of the true, good, and beautiful. Continue to seek them. Continue to strive to be and do better. And we will watch with great anticipation to see what you will begin next. Congratulations, seniors. We will now be regaled by the Trivium seniors under the direction of Mr. Andrew Dell, accompanied by Miss Sarah Joseph, followed immediately by our first valedictorian address from Rinson Joseph.
Dear family, friends, teachers, distinguished guests, and most importantly, my beloved classmates. On behalf of the class of 2022, I have the most blessed privilege to expound on what we, as scholars of the classical curriculum, have grown to become over the several years we have invested in our education. We gather here today as an attestation of our commitment and love for learning. Now, in my preparation for this speech, a question struck me as being integral to understanding how we as a class have progressed from learning out of requirements to learning out of love. The question then becomes, why do we choose to embrace learning? But why not be ignorant and live life dwelling in the shadow world of Plato's cave? Our discussions in humane letters have posed these trivial questions that are worthy of our critical thought and time. We had the special opportunity to tackle these challenging questions head on to discover what it means to travel the path of the good life, a fruitful life. The desire to learn plays an immense role in the fruitfulness of our lives, as it not only provides us with the valuable gift of knowledge, but it also gives us a certain joy. These discoveries have a gradual, nourishing effect, which we may not recognize in our short moments in class. However, I strongly feel that it will reoccur to each and every one of us here today. For us, finding truth in the things that we do was of utmost importance. Before we spent time discussing the virtues, morals, or meaning behind the great books, I used to find truth in the definitions of things. I had never once before considered the greater truths behind these definitions. Simply memorizing formulas in algebra, equations in chemistry, or important dates in history earned me the grades on paper, but made the learning process an act of repetition. As students, we learn for the sake of passing, when we should be learning to surpass the mere material benefits and delve into the truth, goodness, and beauty of it all. In doing so, we would be attaching ourselves to education in a very special way, unlike the way in which we may have done it before. We must take ownership of our learning and make it a part of our life. We can walk the treadmill of habit and grow to love learning for the sake of learning itself. It is what makes us great-hearted members of the community, because we can use the rewards of our learning to reach great heights. From the beginning of our town to the end of Brothers Karamazov, or our first moments in choir, to the finishing touches on our compositions in art, everything has culminated in our growth as great-hearted scholars. A great saying about how a student should approach the education system came from a movie that I watched when I was younger. I believe that it sums up the misconception many young students have about learning. It goes like this: learning is not memorizing the exact words from the book. Learning is understanding it and being able to explain it in your own words. We, as a class, have taken ownership of our learning, and we see the merits of our dedication radiating here today. We wear this cap and gown to symbolize this ownership. We should all show our readiness to carry this ownership into our futures, whether that be in college, on a religious mission, or our personal endeavors. I am confident that each and every one of these young scholars wields the power to extend beyond the school setting and influence the world through their human kindness. Now that sounds like a life that strives for fruitfulness. I urge you all to continue in your journey of learning. Don't merely learn for the time being. Rather, we should aim to learn for life. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
Thank you, Rinson. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker for our 2022 commencement. I've been excited about this introduction for the last 6 months. I don't remember whose idea it was, but I've been on pins and needles for that long. This individual has been with Great Hearts for at least 11 years. I had the honor of working with her at our first location 11 years ago, although she was on the Archway side and I on the prep. Although we both taught second grade a little bit. And now she's the headmaster at Archway Lincoln over in West New Mexico. Gilbert. Same thing. I'm, of course, speaking of our beloved Miss Toyin, so please help me give her a warm Trivium welcome.
Good morning, everybody. I'm just so excited to be here this morning. Like Mr. Shotton shared, my name is Toyin Atalagbe. I serve Archway Lincoln as headmaster. And I used to be Miss Toyin for about 10, 12 of you in second grade. What an honor to be here. I've been sitting there just looking around the room to see those that I remember that were in my second grade class. And the moment that I look keenly at the student, almost immediately the name and the first name and the last name just comes to memory. It's an honor to be here as you all graduate today. This was the dream I had for you in second grade when I was placed in that moment in time to impact your journey for that year. And so it's really, really, really exciting to be here. Before I start my speech this afternoon, I want to thank Mr. Shotton and the entire faculty for inviting me to be a part of this glorious day. Thank you. Thank you so much for all you have poured in the kids. I know that it's not an easy job, but you all show up every day to continue to cultivate the hearts and minds of these children through the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. I also want to thank your parents, your moms, your dads, your aunties, uncles, grandmoms, granddads, and all the family members that have supported you on this journey. There is no way you would have made it this far without all of them. So thank you for sticking with Great Hearts. Those of you that know me, you know I'm very passionate about Great Hearts. I feel that when people leave Great Hearts in 8th grade, they have aborted the mission. The mission is incomplete without a 12th grade education. So thank you for sticking with Great Hearts. Second grade class of 2011 and 2012, I'm so grateful for you. I want to thank you too, especially. I know we still have about 10, 12 of you here. You really impacted my journey in a very positive way. It was my first time teaching in an elementary class that year. And you all just accepted me for who I am. My accent was different. You helped reshape that accent so that it sounded more like something you all could understand. Thank you for that love and kindness that you showed me. I have never, ever forgotten you all. As we look ahead this afternoon, and I kind of just share a few words with you, there's nothing I'm going to say here today that you haven't heard before. But I've been invited to give that last reminder of what this is all about. And so, forgive me if you're going to be hearing some of the things you've heard before. What is about to happen to you, I kind of want to equate it to a driving experience. I want you to think about it as in the last 18 years of your lives, your parents have been driving you in a car. Mom and dad driving or mom driving, passenger seat, you've been in the back of the car for 18 years. They bring you to school every day, your parents step out of the car, your teachers stepping, they continue the driving on your life's journey. But you are now at a juncture where they're all going to step away from that car. And you get to be the driver of your own life now. Some can call it freedom, what you have now. But freedom could be a blessing sometimes, could also be a curse. I pray that the freedom you all are about to earn will be a blessing for all of you. And so as you navigate that car by yourself, maybe the day that your parents drop you off at college, I just want to remind you of something that will help you henceforth on that journey of life. And it's self-awareness. Self-awareness does matter. What does self-awareness sound like? For some people, self-awareness sounds like self-knowledge. For some people, like Aristotle, who talked about magnanimity a lot, self-awareness is that willingness to continue to pursue virtue until you attain greatness. For Alexandre Harvard, he talked about self-awareness as an affirmation of one's own dignity. Personally, magnanimity for me is self-pride. That elevated understanding of who you are, no matter how you're shaped, how you're formed. And the awareness, that awareness is what propels you to attain greatness on your life's journey. It's self-awareness that reminds you of who you are. And so you've been with us for 11, 10, 9 years, learning all the beautiful things that Great Hearts has to offer. You've been learning how to think. Your mind has been learning how to think. Your heart has been learning how to feel. But all of that will be meaningless if you do not have that self-awareness to think a certain way. If I remember clearly, St. Augustine calls that pure thoughts. And so, as you go into college, I want to encourage you to continue to cultivate magnanimity, that elevated understanding of who you are, such that nobody gets to direct your life for you. Now, as you go out there, listen, there are so many things waiting to distort your thought process. That's just the truth. There are so many things waiting, battling to mess up with all those thinking that you've developed in school. But self-awareness is that thing that brings you to a point of saying, that's not who I am. I am better than that. Alongside magnanimity also comes humility, a true knowledge of who you are. Humility allows you to stay true to yourself. You know your weaknesses, you know your strengths. You know your flaws. You also understand that there are people around you who can complement whatever weaknesses and flaws that you have. But the state of humility allows you to even acknowledge that some of those flaws are there and that some of those strengths are there. A part of self-awareness is recognizing our flaws, but also realizing that our flaws do not define us. When we choose to bless others, we have made the choice to allow others' strength to make up for our flaws. This is why it is crucial as human beings to bless others, because we truly cannot live life alone. For living alone is not life at all. And those were reflections from my son when I asked him, what is self-awareness for you? You also need to build productive friendships. So magnanimity allows you to have this strong elevation of who you are, an affirmation of your own dignity. Humility allows you to affirm the dignity of others. Productive friendships, and I use the word productive intentionally, because sometimes we think we have friends, but we learn from Aristotle that the perfect form of friendship is that between good men who are alike in excellence or virtue. For these friends wish alike for one another's good because they are good men and they are good per se. Do not hang out with people that do not emulate your values. You go to college. In college, they say no underage drinking. Your group of friends that you're leaving school with, when you all get to college, they think it's okay to do that. You have my permission to just put them at arm's length. Don't be friends with them. And that's okay. When you have self-awareness, there is a longing to stand out and not try to fit in. Your education is different, and you're going to find out pretty quickly when you get to college. Because you think philosophically. You've learned to ask questions. And so when you get out there, not everybody was raised like that. And there's this tendency for students to get to college and begin to feel out of place. Nobody thinks like me. People are not questioning things. Okay, maybe it's time for me to join them. No, I don't want you to do that. It's okay to stand out. Self-awareness allows you to stand out. You don't have to fit into a system that doesn't align with who you are. It's okay to be a lone wolf. Don't be afraid of that. The other thing that I have to share is stay in touch with your family. I know that the illustration that I drew in the beginning about driving, I did say that at this point, your parents are exiting that car, and you now have control of that driver's seat. But it's okay to drive home and see your parents, because your parents are now consultants in your life. Yeah, they don't get to tell you what to do anymore. However, their wisdom will support you in growing in self-awareness. So stay very close to your family. Create time for leisure. We don't expect that you're going to college and you're going to be studying the entire time. No, that's not the expectation. But I just want to encourage you that what leisure is for the world right now is not what leisure should be. The world has created this virtual reality for your generation that makes you think that's what leisure is. And I'm not saying that you cannot be on social media. You can be on social media. I am on social media. However, do not spend too much time seeking likes and looking at what other people are doing with their lives. Go hiking. Do some painting. Sing. Look at that beautiful choir. Get a group of friends. During Easter, my son, who graduated from Arete Prep, told me himself and his friend, during their leisure, they made music. It's now on iTunes. In my mind, I'm like, wow. That's what we want to do. We don't want you to work, but we want you to create time for leisure. Because during leisure, you get to discover self even more. The other thing that you will need to improve self-awareness is courage. Sometimes it's just the courage to say no. And when we talk about courage, it's not the absence of fear. Because sometimes when we want to say no, there is the fear factor. Fear can be protective, fear can be destructive. You train yourself to listen to the voice of fear. You speak to your fear. Okay, if I don't wake up early, I might miss my class. That seems protective. Okay, so I'll set an alarm. But when you hear fear telling you that if you don't say no to your friends who are obviously doing something wrong, you're going to be left without friends. That's the time you say to your fear, it's okay not to have friends, but I'm not going to go down on that path. Acknowledge the fear factor. Listen to your fears. Speak to your fears, but learn to quieten your fears as well. Don't let your fear be the emotion that drives you. And the way you develop these inner conversations with your fear is through self-awareness. Just know who you are. If you know yourself, I often hear people say, I love you. Everywhere you go, I love you. It's okay to stop and say, I love me. Because if you truly love yourself, when you hear that voice that says, do this thing that your mind almost immediately tells you is wrong, if you truly love yourself, you'll say no, right? But because many people have not developed self-awareness, you just follow the crowd. You do what your friend says you should do. When I was going to college, I remember my dad developed cold feet. And he looked at me one day and said, I regret letting you go to college so far away from home. Now I'm just terrified what you're going to go do. And I looked at my dad, really? You really think I do not like myself? Like I'll actually go to college and do all the wrong things? No way. Every step of the way, I am always thinking of how to make me achieve my own personal goals. And so I think of the best of me, and I seek the best for me, because I love me. And I'm not talking about self-conceited love. It's just that self-awareness. Who are you? Don't let people dictate who you are. And so as I finish today, I just want to end with the words of Superintendent Crow that went out this week. He said, our hope for our graduates is that they enter the next phase of their life honoring and living out the Socratic dictum, know thyself. When I saw that, I almost fell off my chair. I'm like, oh my gosh, Brandon reads minds now. That's what I was going to talk about. Please know thyself. Don't be afraid to stand out. This foundational understanding that we must first know and seek the good ourselves before we can hope to seek the good for and with others. It enables us to know true friendship, engage in meaningful intellectual work, and act morally for greater good beyond ourselves. With this foundation, our graduates are ready to lead our world in the decades ahead. Congratulations once again to the class of 2021-2022. All the best on your next chapter.
Thank you, Ms. Toyin. Would you please help me welcome our next valedictorian speaker, Mr. Benjamin Hager.
Thank you. Hello. For all those who do not know me, I'm Ben Hager. I've been at Trivium since second grade when the school first started. Throughout my experience here, I've been a part of so many things which have developed who I am today. I am a student, a singer, an actor, a football player, a blacksmith, an FFA chapter officer, and an Eagle Scout. I have tried to do the most I can to develop myself while here within these peculiarly structured walls. But all these things only contribute to who I actually am. I am a knight. A knight is a warrior that is noble, virtuous, courageous, morally driven, who protects his kingdom with an oath of goodness and a strong sense of justice. Similarly to Plato's guardians, the knight protects the city and wards off destructive influence. But the thing is that a person does not become a knight in one day. A knight spends the majority of his life in the preparation of knighthood. This knight in waiting takes many steps in his path to becoming a knight, starting as a page. As a small child, the page begins to consider what it means to be good and develop those virtues which the responsibilities of a knight require. Similarly, Archway showed us how and what it means to be virtuous and great-hearted people. It was there that we began to learn and understand how to live and strive towards our goals. Whether it was math with Mr. Otomosu, holding paper cranes with Mrs. Gartner, or spending countless recesses playing Foursquare with friends. All of it taught us how to be loyal pages to our school. And school was not a set of assignments, but a noble sanctuary of virtue. We learned the value of integrity, honesty, courage, wisdom, and perseverance, all of which are essential to the formation of a knight. A knight, after his years as a page, serves as a squire, while we, as middle schoolers, while learning the skills needed to advance, a squire serves under a knight, constantly learning from their example. It is here where squires learn skills such as sword fighting, boxing, horse riding, and endurance. It was at this stage when they would prepare themselves physically for the path ahead. In middle school, we learned how to study, how to write effectively, how to put in the work needed for our success. We looked up to the knights before us. We saw them as models of excellence and constantly sought to live up to their example. For some, it was family members. For others, dear friends. We looked up to the knights before us, and we looked to them as examples of perseverance, determination, and friendship. We prepared ourselves and built the skills needed for success. Finally, a squire becomes a knight, and takes their oath. We came to high school prepared to take our oath, but we soon realized that just learning the skills as we did as a squire is insufficient. It is by using this knowledge and skill in order to serve our kingdom that we truly are capable of being knights. We charge against the enemies of opposition while fighting our own inner dragons of insecurity and nervousness. And although we had the school to support us, we did not win every battle. We saw many dear friends and teachers leave as we continued on. Mr. Scripter, Mrs. Vasiloff, Mrs. Ogle, and Miss Eckert. Within our nightly service, our kingdom fell to a pandemic. We picked ourselves off the ground and drew our sword once again. We learned who we are and what we stand for. We learned how to use our skills to make a difference, not just in class, but our community. As a knight, we fight for others. We fight for our friends, for our family, for our teachers, for the school itself. We fight for all those squires and pages who constantly look up to us as we fight with valor for what we believe in. We wear our crest every day over our hearts. We carry our sword of truth and don the armor of goodness and beauty. And it has not been easy, but it shouldn't be easy. A knight is not forged from ability, but a creed. We forge our armor with virtue and justice, which will always quench the flaming arrows of our adversaries. But now, we have a far greater challenge. Instead of fighting for our kingdom, we must fight for ourselves. We can no longer tarry here, but we must move forward. We must claim our birthright and become the kings and queens of our lives. We must now use our knowledge and skill not only to protect ourselves, but all those who you love. This kingdom of our school cannot keep us, for now we must make our own kingdom. It is your job to decide how to build it. Will you continually foster the virtues, or will you succumb to the world? It is up to you to govern your life in a way that you will be proud of. It is up to you to be the great-hearted people who this school has helped raise. And I know we will fall short at times, but the firm rock on which you are built will always hold you steady. As for me, I will choose to follow this, the creed of the warrior. I am a warrior. I do my duty. I serve a cause greater than myself. I blame no one for my faults and give thanks for my abilities. My mind is my most powerful weapon. I train to oppose evil in all of its forms. I will never quit, retreat, or cower in the face of the enemy. I strive for perfection and ask the same from those who serve with me. I lead by example and have the highest moral standard. The truth is my constant companion. When the end comes, I will sing my warrior song and go to my reward with honor and dignity. I am a warrior. I implore you, everyone, remember who you are. Remember your noble heritage. Gird up your armor, draw your sword, and wear your crest on your heart. In your hardest fights, show the world who you are. A Trivium night. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. I want to make sure I get this right. My apologies. So we now please welcome Trivium seniors who will be performing another song for us, For Good.
Well, maybe that we been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for.
But then I guess we know there's blame to share,
And none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a crawling fish in morning as it passes the sun. Like a stream that meets the golden lion halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? Because if I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you.
because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. Thank you. That was wonderful. So now has come the time for the conferring of the diplomas. And then after that will be another song. It will be benediction, a song from the faculty to the graduates. Mason Brent Anderson. Gabriel Andros. Aram Asif. Molly Janae Ball. Jericho Lacerna Bautista. Christopher Michael Bolts, Jr. Alina Boschko. John Gabriel Brobo. Michaela Grace Bias. Francisco Zaid Cano IV. Cheyenne Caraway. Ivana Cesaro. Valerie Alexandra Sinito. Alexandra Collier. Caden Kraft. Diego Luis Hernandez de Guzman. Zoe Miasol Cecil Delgado. Daniel Dean Dorothy. Domenica Faye Eastburn. Mia Ann Francis Falaci. Broden Fazer. Andrea Fierro. Bella Elise Flickinger. Jillian Flitton. Divina Nicole Flores. McKenna Franz. Taylor Fuller. Andreas Gallardo. Adrian Gomez. David Alberto Garcia del Rio. Jordan Grant. Jojo Green. Benjamin Cal Hager. Ryan Hager. Caleb Antonio Hamilton. Andrew Headley. Annabelle Higa. Maddie Hirth. Jenner Holden. Kendall Presley Holt. Dylan Alexander Hoodie. Daniel Houlihan. Winter Sage Margaret Rose Hubbard. Destina Angeline Hardines. Jacob Daniel Johnson. Tyler Randall Johnson. Alina Joseph. Rinson Joseph. Andrew Dugan Michelle Kroll Kerfoot. Ren Kim. Good job, Ren. Brittany Lane. Elena Ledesma. Samantha Elizabeth Ledesma. Allison Claire Lee. Caitlin Hannah Lee. Christian Colt Little. Gabriel Lopez. Kimberly Lundquist. Addison Owen Martin. Kylie Hong Maurice. Micah McDonald. Ryan Medrano. Brooke Miller. Lily Kayla Moreno. Mia Moreno. Bernice Kalubi Mapoi. Brandon Neugebauer. Emily Wynn. Jaron Charles Nielsen. Brennan Norris. Megan O'Donnell. Kayla Oshiro. Kinga Alexandra Patras. Carlian Naya Peterson. Jane Pham. Morgan Lee Prather. Tatiana Carrard. Isabel Lauren Kinata. Lauren Nicole Roberts. Melody Romero. Nicholas Angel Ruelas. Jesus Ruiz. Savannah Sargent. Caden Scott. Kaylee Lauren Shelshear. Dylan Casey Spencer. Kyle Spencer. Julia Marie Stewart. Sally Tan. Thomas Tanzer. Bryn Elaine Taylor. Brandy Dayanara Torres. Sarisha Trivedi. Michelle Joanna Valenzuela. Kylie Vanderlyn. Crystal Amber Walton. Good job, Crystal. Jackson West. Eliana Wiggenhorn. Amarian Joseph Williams. You bet. Julian J. Williams. Luke Willingham. Natalie Catherine Wolfley. Jasper Michael Zamora. Caden Newell Zimmerman. Jolie Sophia Zubia. Now we'll have the faculty performance of benediction.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rain fall soft on your field. And in case we should happen to meet again, until the day when we meet again, may this world that surrounds us, may this world that surrounds us keep you warm, keep you safe in her care, until we meet again, yes, until we meet again.
Thank you. That was wonderful. So, here we are at the end. I wanted to give you, the graduates, a couple of words of advice, but I will be brief. You know that's my thing. I thought about what to tell you for quite a bit. I spoke with someone that I trusted that I thought was very wise. I knew I could give you easy advice like work hard, except that I already know you know how to do that. You showed that. I could give you advice like don't break the law or make sure you use sunscreen. That didn't seem very practical, except the sunscreen thing, that is practical. I remembered in the last couple of weeks that this class has been described as fun. Repeatedly, over and over again. Yes. And I know, because I taught half of this class in 9th grade biology, and we had a lot of fun, right? But one of the things I remember about this class, and I know this has been said recently, you knew how to have fun, but you knew how to do it in the right way. I was very proud of you for that, because that is not easy. I think that if I had to give you advice in the future, I would tell you, I believe it is important that you continue to have fun. You know how to work hard, and you're going to work hard, but I think that remembering how to play hard as well is very important. And I think that's important because play and fun is good for your heart, and it's good for your mind, and it'll help make you better people. I think if I could give you advice, I would say get out and see the world. Go do fun things, because as every adult in this room will agree, time goes quickly. Time goes very quickly. I also wanted to remind you that you're still growing mentally and emotionally, and I want to ask you to be brave enough to become the person that you always wanted to be. That's my advice to you. Don't stay stuck in the 18-year-old person that you are today. That's not good for you. Grow. Remember who you are, absolutely. Remember where you came from, certainly. But be brave enough to do the right thing and become the person that you always wanted to be. So I speak for all of the faculty when I say, you are loved, you are cared for. Go out into the world and write your story. Thank you. Okay, so now you should move your tassels to the other side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the graduating class of Trivium Preparatory Academy of 2022. So parents, you can meet your students outside after the recessional. Thank you.